I guess I can stab and then say the line because I guess it will be more audible.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. All right, 75, please.
All right.
This is what I need to do. This is my calling. I need to make sure that more people not only go to see Black theater and support it, but understand why it's important. And I want every Black actor to have the experience of doing a show with a completely Black cast.
Having the opportunity to work with her professionally here at CPG has been life-changing for me because she's given me opportunities a lot of people in this town haven't given me. I mean, she calls me up, she's like, hey, do you want to direct this show next year? Hey, I'm trying to do an acting workshop, do you want to come and work with me here? Always providing opportunities for Black people in this city to do what they love and do what they do best. And then Leslie, stand by, we're gonna do the chokehold after that.
If you're a live theater fan, a local music lover, a reader, or a radio listener, there's a good chance you've seen or heard today's guest. Join us as we catch up with the ever-busy, multi-talented Leslie M. Scott Jones. Come on. Leslie, everywhere I go in Charlottesville, there you are. So tell us, how did you get involved in theater and the arts? What inspired you?
I started literally writing my own kind of, I guess, adventure novels, you could call them, when I was like 7 or 8. So all of my Barbies were international spies and their husbands had absolutely no idea what they were doing. And they went all around the world, saving the world from, you know, bad guys, nuclear weapons, the whole deal. You know, so that's how it started.
So it started on your own, and then your mother and father had a little influence too.
Yes, and then so my dad is one of those guys. You know, he's big and burly and a man's man, and his hobby was redoing old cars. So if I wanted to spend time with my dad, it had to be in a garage. The only other thing that he and I really connected on was music. And every Saturday morning, he would put on blues. So I grew up listening to B.B. King and James Brown and Bobby Blue Bland and, you know, all of those guys. And then my mom did the more like bougie, more cultural side of things, you know. So she would take me to the Kennedy Center and to Ford's Theater. So I got to see Avery Brooks do his one-man Paul Robeson show. I got to see the original cast of Ain't Misbehavin' at Ford's Theater. Meryl Streep doing Merry Wives of Windsor, and
you caught the bug, right? You knew it.
Oh yeah.
Well, and you set off into the world and to school, and you're studying theater and theater education, and you eventually you have a family, and so you focus on your 2 beautiful kids.
Yes.
Tell us how you got back into it.
We had moved from Culpeper back to Charlottesville, and I see a posting for African American actors for Othello.
5 minutes to places, please!
So I go, I audition, not expecting to get anything, because it literally been 15 years since I'd been on a stage. But I go, I audition, and I get Emilia.
Yeah.
Which was amazing.
Well, and you haven't really stopped since then.
No.
You have not stopped since then.
I really haven't.
Let's talk. You act. You're also, you direct, you produce, you adapt scripts. So let's talk about some of your favorite projects that you've done over this past decade.
I guess I'd have to, my favorite is still Jitney.
Okay, so this is part of the August Wilson series.
Yes.
Right, so let's maybe back
with
up.
With Charlottesville Players Guild.
And let's explain that. So you started with Fences.
Yeah, Andrea Douglas, Dr. Douglas came to me and said, I'm not a theater person, but I want to produce the entire century cycle. Because part of the mission of the center is to tell the Black history of the 20th century, specifically of the 20th century. And that's what the century cycle is. It's a picture of life for Black people in every decade.
What I'm worried about what you talking about? Bono, you gonna stay this up?
No, thank you, Rose. Lucille said she's gonna be cooking up some pot pig feet.
Pig feet? Hell, I might be going home with you. You might even stay the night, you got some pig feet.
And then the second in the series, Jitney. Now that was one of your favorites.
Yes. So Jitney is set in the Hill District of Pittsburgh, right at the point of another round of gentrification. It's centered around a cab company. They discover pretty early in the play that it's going to be taken over by eminent domain and torn down. So they have to decide whether or not they're gonna fight to keep their business and their livelihood. And a week and a half before we open, August 11th and 12th happens.
Right.
And every single member of my cast and crew, including me, were on the streets that day. So that one's always gonna be closest to me. It wasn't just telling a Black story anymore. It really brought it home to everybody on that stage that through telling this story, we are proving our humanity.
Leslie is a great component, a great activist for Jefferson School, not just Charlottesville Players Guild, and saying, look, we've got stories we need to tell, and it's our job to tell them because no one else is going to do it.
People of color, marginalized people, she is willing to uplift those people in the space of theater and making theater more equitable for the people of Charlottesville.
All right, now talk about Black Mac.
Yes. So Black Mac came out of a conversation one night, and T turns to me and says, so what's the next show? I was like, I don't know. And Rochelle says, oh, we should do Macbeth. And T says, oh yeah, and I should direct it. And I was like, oh yeah, that'd be a good idea. And Rochelle goes, and I'll play Lady Macbeth. I was like, done. It was really amazing, and I love the way she adapted the script to really encompass the African diaspora and really bring that as a layer onto the Shakespearean language. You know, ooh, he's so extra.
Oh, that's
completely
great.
fit in Shakespeare.
Oh, that's great. Okay, talk about Hambone.
So yeah, we wanted to do, it's like, okay, so we did this kind of otherworldly kind of thing with Shakespeare. Let's bring it a little closer to home and do like a Black family drama, grieving what happened and trying to figure out a way to move forward.
Here, Hambone, take my napkin, wipe thy face. The queen carouses to Hambone's fortune.
Gertrude, you do not drink.
I pray you pardon me, my lord. I will.
'Tis the poison cup. It is too late.
Come, let me wipe thy face.
I think the role that Leslie plays in our community is bringing a lot of artists and people out of their shells and trying different things. I know she did that with me, and I love it.
Hark them, they are incensed. Look there, look come again. Oh!
All right, and hold.
Music, you know, music is a big thing to you, and
Yes.
you and your buddy Rochelle Claiborne, who is an amazing musician,
Oh my God.
you've partnered on, you were involved in an Aretha Franklin tribute.
Yeah, that we did in
and
Pennsylvania.
Another tribute.
A Nina Simone tribute.
Nina Simone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And once again, that's something I kind of got pushed back into. You know, I'm a Southern woman. Of course, I grew up singing in the choir, of course. But I hadn't sung in public for a really long time. And then I met this wonderful man who's a musician and a composer, and he goes, you need to sing again.
So here you are out there singing.
So here I am out there
And
singing.
you write, you have books that you've written.
Yes.
I don't know if there are any Barbie dolls involved anymore.
No,
but you
no
have
Barbies.
Books, you contribute in the community to different papers, and you have a podcast radio show.
Yes. I'm always busy. I am always busy.
I would, yeah.
There's, and I come by it honestly. I did not steal it. My mother was possibly the busiest person I've ever met, and she still is. There was always a meeting to go to,
Yeah.
or an event that had to be planned. To me, that's what you're supposed to do. Like, if you are sitting at home and doing nothing, something is wrong. You are doing it wrong.
Well, what I love too is that you took the time to raise your children.
Yeah.
You know, you did that, and now you have been doing this. You are back to your first love, or
Yeah.
second love, because your kids are your first love, but you're back to this. What kind of advice do you have for people who are passionate about the arts, no matter how old they are, no matter where they are in their stage of life?
A lot of people think that you're going to get from here to there, and it's going to be instantaneous. And it's like, no, getting there is 20 years of hard work.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter if there is winning an Oscar,
Right.
or if there is starring in a musical at your local community theater. It doesn't matter what the destination
Yeah.
is. there's always work in the middle.
Yeah, and you have to enjoy this.
And you have
if
to
you're
be
so
here.
looking at this the whole time, how are you going to enjoy that?
Right. You
Right.
have to be in the moment, present, and figure it out.
Yeah.
And the wonderful thing that I love about community theater is that there's always going to be people to catch you. There's always going to be people to support you. There's always going to be this mini family that's created when you
Yeah.
do a show.
And collaboration. You collaborate constantly.
Yes.
And that just makes the experience even richer and shares it with more people.
Yeah, because you're never going to have every idea. It's absolutely impossible that you're going to have every good idea all the time.
Right.
So it's important that you get other people in the room and people from different perspectives. Like that's why it's another reason I like having diverse casts, especially in age and in experience, because that person who just walks off the street and has never been on a stage before could have the idea that makes whatever's wrong in this moment come together in a way that no one else in the room could.
Yeah.
And we need that.
Go! Bring these ladies to where young Hambone is.
Heavens make our presence and our practices pleasant and helpful.
She will always do the best to put Black people forefront in the theater, people of color, marginalized people. She is willing to uplift those people in the space of theater, and ever since I've known her, she has worked towards that goal and making theater more equitable for the people of Charlottesville.
You never know what you can do until you actually do it. And Leslie is very good at bringing that out in people.
Leslie is a great component, a great activist for Jefferson School, not just Charlottesville Players Guild, and saying, look, we've got stories we need to tell, and it's our job to tell them because no one else is going to do it. I don't know what Charlottesville would do without her.